Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this EcoNet Bulldog valve controller. Really excited to get this integrated within our smart home and control our main water shutoff. That way, if we have a leak, we can have an automation set up to go ahead and shut that off and show you what that looks like, how the install goes, and how it works after it's installed and integrated within Home Assistant. So without further ado, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and get this unboxed and see what we get inside. It's a pretty hefty box here. Feels pretty solid. So hopefully the device is solid as well. So we have mounting instructions, and that's two-sided, and there's some QR codes, I guess, if we need some extra help. And then we have some specs on the device. We have a power cord. This is a standard US power cord. Let's see if we have anything else over here. Okay, we have the clamp, which is actually connected underneath the dividers. So to pull everything out now. Let's see if we can get this out. Okay, so it actually comes with two different clamps. So depending on the size of your pipes that you have the different clamps here. And then it looks like this is the device that connects to the Bulldog to show where the other side of your valve is, so it can grab a hold of it, connect on both sides. Looks like we have a little controller here, and this is a Z-Wave item. So it has Z-Wave Plus here. And we have the device itself. So it looks like it's a decent length cord till we add the other plug. It should be pretty long, so that should be good. And it looks like the cord connects into the controller here. Yeah, it has the connection for the controller, and then from the controller it goes out to the power outlet. So that looks pretty standard. So what I'll do is go ahead and we'll go over to where we're going to install this, and I'll show you what it's like to install it, and we'll give you an overview of what happens when it gets used and my thoughts on the product at the end. So let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead and get this installed. The first thing you need to do, figure out which clamp you need. If you have a 1-inch or smaller valve, then what you're going to need is the standard clamp. That's 1 inch or smaller. They support the standard clamp. And if you have a valve that's 1 inch or larger that they support with one of their standard clamps, you're going to need the extra large, the larger one that comes in the package. So they give you two options right away. Once you figure that out, you're going to need to go ahead and put this on the pipe. And where it's going to go is the valve collar. And that's the piece right here, right beside the handle, away from the handle, on the other side of the valve. You want to make sure it's not on your pipe or anything, right on the valve itself. That way all the torque and everything is on the valve. And you're going to go ahead and put this on, but not tighten it. And it has a little overhang on this one side. You can see it's just a little overhang that goes towards the handle of the valve. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, but not tighten it yet. Once you get to that point, what you're going to be doing is lining up the tab with the valve handle itself. So once you do that, you can go ahead and tighten it. So I'm going to do that and tighten it. All right. Next is installing the motor. And the one thing they tell you here is to make sure that the pivot point is directly above the pivot point. So in this instance, you're going to slide it up or back in the slot so that it says the pivot point perfectly aligns with the valve pivot point. So that should be pretty easy. And that would be this pivot point right here. And then we're going to go ahead and fully tighten the screw that goes in that slot. All right, the next step is go ahead and plug it in. So we'll take the control unit and align the connector. It goes that direction. There we go. And then plug it in so that we have power. All right, now what we're going to do is put it in the closed position, the valve, after we make sure it moves freely, and then we're going to press the button on for the closed module valve button shown on our unit. And then once we do that, we'll finalize the install here. So I have it in the closed position. I'm going to tap on that so that that rotates to the closed position. You can see it rotating. All right, we're closed. Now I can go ahead to the next step, which is mount the guide pins. So basically, there's pins with the bracket that's below the handle, so we add that on. All right, now that we have those installed and against it, we got to tighten those up. All right, now we're ready to test it. So I'm going to activate it. Make sure it fully opens. All right, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to check fully closed, and I'm going to go turn on a faucet to make sure it runs out. So we'll go ahead and close it. And what we should see here is that the water fully stops. We're up on the upper floor of our house. So they said this is the quicker way to do this, is to prevent the gravity from feeding it. And it's pretty close right now. My sink took about 10 minutes to stop dripping. I'm going to demo opening it. You can hear the water rushing through. And we end with the valve in the fully open position. And the last step for the setup is to include it in our Z-Wave instance of Home Assistant. So we're in our Z-Wave instance. We're going to hit Add Device. And then what you do on the module is you tap this 3 times quickly. It should put it in pairing mode. Okay. So it was a little more complex than I thought it was going to be. Basically just hit that button a whole bunch of times until the light stays on, and then you get it right into pairing mode. We'll go in here and name this water shutoff valve. I'm going to put it in study. That's where I put things that I don't really want messed with. And then we'll try it out. Shut off the water, and it was instantaneous when it began shutting off the water. See if we get the same response when we turn it back on. All right, so let's go ahead and try to turn it back on. And again, that's instantaneous. So that'll be a really good setup when we are linking that in with our water leak sensors. We can go in and tell it that if the water leaks, then, if it detects water leak on certain sensors, then we can go ahead and shut off the water valve. So that's really useful. And for my final thoughts, I think this is really a great product. Instantaneous responses once we got it installed here and connected to the Z-Wave, and that'll really pair well with our smart home and the water leak sensors we have. And really excited. I'm going to monitor, make sure it doesn't drop offline or anything, but I think it's going to be great. Once we have the solar with the battery backup that we're getting installed, we won't have to worry about losing power, because they do actually sell a battery backup unit for this, so that, you know, if you do lose power, you can actually still utilize the valve shutoff in the EcoNet Bulldog here. But we won't have that concern very long, and then, you know, like I said, we'll have the backup there. But the Z-Wave device works great, and I love that it connects right to the valve, really strong, and easily turns our valve off and on without any issue. The install was pretty simple. You follow some relatively simple directions. You don't need a whole lot of tools or anything. And like I said, it connects right to the valve, which makes it a much better product than some that connect to the pipe. So don't forget to like and subscribe as we build out additional aspects of our smart home. And I'm going to do some automations coming up for this product, as well as some others that we recently installed. So stay tuned so you don't miss that. Thanks for watching.